Good morning, class. Today we are looking at the concept of fractions and introducing fractions with halves and wholes. So with fractions, what we are aiming to do in this class is recognise and describe 1/2 and recognise that it is two equal parts that make a whole. Before we start, can I just get a thumbs up from everyone who has heard of these two terms, halves and wholes? Okay, so for those of you who don't know or haven't heard the terms before, in order to have a whole object, we have to have two equal halves. Okay guys, so if I was to go to Pizza Hut and pick myself up a whole pizza, if I was feeling a bit hungry, I could eat it all myself. If I was feeling generous, I could give half to my friends. Now, if we split it evenly and we both get one part each, equal parts, we've both got half a pizza each. Now, even though there's two parts there, what we should know is that you bring them back together and we still have a whole pizza. Now, if I was at a birthday party and my friend Billy didn't want to share a whole half of his cake, or he wasn't very good at cutting, he might get the whole cake and only make that much for me, that much for himself. Do you think if we did that, we would still have two halves of a cake? No, we wouldn't have two halves because we don't have equal amounts. Giving you a go now, if I was to get my whole pineapple that Mum just bought from the shops and take it into the kitchen and cut it straight down the middle, what could you tell me about it? Would I have equal halves like we did with the pizza? Or would I not have the equal halves like we saw with the cake? You tell me. For anyone that said we would have equal halves, you're absolutely right. If I was to cut it right down the middle, you can see that we have exactly the same half on each side. Now, to put it back together, just like our pizza before, we would still have that whole pineapple. So even though we've just been dealing with food items here, the same could be said with any object. Leave it as one, you've still got a whole. Pull it apart in equal parts, creating two sections, you've got two halves. What I want you to do tonight is go home and find some objects that you could split in half. Come back tomorrow and tell me all about them. Thanks for listening.